What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. For anybody new here or who does not know me, my name is Svet. I play the game Rise of Kingdoms. It's a mobile game for Apple and Android. Been playing it for about a year now. Love the game. Spend a lot of time on it. Love ARK of Osiris, Kingdom versus Kingdom, and all the other events that come along with it. If you guys have been playing this game for a while or just getting started and you like Rise of Kingdoms content, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. I will be putting out all sorts of content on all the events that we play in this game. They do take quite a bit of strategy. They can take some practice for those of you guys that have just started Rise of Kingdoms. So I put out all the content that I can to show you guys how I play, how my alliance and I play certain events, and of course, any crazy fights that we have, whether it's in ARK of Osiris, KVK, or anything else that goes on. I will be posting all sorts of content. Today's video is on our ARK of Osiris match that we had today. It is the 8th of November, so we just had our battle for the every 2 weeks that we have ARK of Osiris. So just want to show you guys how the game went today. It ended up very well for us, and just kind of want to show you guys how it went, what we did to win, and where we really had a big advantage and where we did very well within our alliance. As I'm getting started here, as you see on the screen, I do have to switch all of my equipment. We did just migrate, me and a bunch of other people, from Kingdom 198 to 846. So I cannot use these commanders that you're seeing right now in normal battle until my kingdom hits the age of 310 days old. At this point, I think we're somewhere around 200 days old. So I can't use these in any normal fights. I can use them in ARK of Osiris, which is great because I invested a lot of time, money, blood, sweat, and tears into getting these commanders. I can use them in Soroli and other events like that, but I couldn't use them in KVK if we were going to go into a KVK, which we are pretty soon, or I can't use them in any sort of fight that we happen to have in the kingdom. Even though that rarely happens, we have a pretty peaceful kingdom right now. We're more KVK focused and ARK of Osiris focused, but I can't use them, so every time I do want to use them in ARK of Osiris, I do have some pretty good equipment. I've got to switch all of my equipment around. So as you can see, I've got some really good stuff here on Attila. I do have Attila Takeda, which is very useful in really any part of this game. He's good at rallying, obviously, first and foremost. He's really good in the field as well. He's not too shabby at defending a structure. Obviously, there's some much better pairs you would want, but you'll see me defend a structure here in ARK today, and I did in my video 2 weeks ago as well. But Attila Takeda, really just an OP pair. One of the best, so I invested heavily into getting them and the equipment that goes on them as well. I did something a little bit different this time. I did decide to put Skola's Lucky Coin on Attila because I'm going to be focused on rallying the Shrine of Life throughout most of the game this game. So I wanted to try the coin on him to see if I got a little more longevity out of him. As you guys know, the coin provides a shield every so often. I think it's 10% chance to provide a shield that takes 500 damage. So it makes my Attila a little more tanky than he already is, which I just wanted to give it a shot and see how that went. I took it off my Guan. I usually used it on Guan Leo, but figured that my Attila Takeda was going to be much more important for this fight as I tried to rally and take the Shrine of Life for pretty much the whole game. I also have the Revival set on my Ramesses, who I use with YSG. And then I've got some backup infantry commander that I threw on Charles. Charles is my main commander that I use in the kingdom now until our kingdom gets to 310 days. So I put the backup stuff on Charles for today and then put my really good infantry stuff on Guan, who is paired with Leo for my field fighting with Guan. As you can see, I'm kind of just going throughout the map. I do always, in the beginning of the game, kind of scroll over to the opponent's side to see what kind of players we're up against. And here in the beginning of the match, I was actually kind of nervous. They seemed to be pretty stacked when we were going up against them here in the beginning. They did have one player that was 300 million power, which, you can only field 5 marches at one point in time. So your power is great in the sense in ARK that that person will never run out of troops. There's no way. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it puts my team, at a huge disadvantage for them to have one player at 300 million power. But I did see how many players they had around 100 million, and was thinking to myself, okay, we're gonna have a fight here. And so as we get started in this match, the first thing we do, of course, is race to our obelisk to take those and our outposts that are really close. So that's what we're doing right now. We have designated people that are positioned up towards the front of the gates where we originally start in Ark of Osiris. And they have T1 cav marches with super fast commanders, whether it's, CC Moto, even a Lancelot's thrown in. You get some Belisarius thrown in. Anybody that's got a really, really fast pair and the windswept gear, so the windswept equipment set makes your commander super fast. So we send them out with T1 cav to get out to our obelisks and outposts as quick as possible. The second thing we do right off the bat is we launch rallies, pretty much at every structure we can. In the beginning, we can only rally obelisks, so we've rallied both our obelisks and the enemy's obelisks. So in the beginning, we want to make sure, A, we're capturing those obelisks as fast as possible, but not only that we have rallies on the way to either defend those structures or potentially attack those structures immediately as well. So what we're doing right now is just kind of getting our troops out into the field. Those of us, I'm on the teleport list up front, so I only have my one troop in the rally that's going to the obelisk on my side of the field. We split our team into 4 smaller teams. So we've got, there's really 2 divisions and then 2 teams within each division. So we have top and bottom, and then top 1, top 2, bottom 1, bottom 2. The reason we do that is so that everybody's role is perfectly clear on what we're supposed to do throughout the match. And that way we know who we communicate with, that we know what names we're looking for to fill our rallies. We know, if we open the rally list, I know who to look for to fill a rally. It makes it a lot easier to communicate and get stuff done while you're in the match. So that's how we do it. We split ourselves into top and bottom teams, and then furthermore into smaller units for top 1, top 2, bottom 1, bottom 2. So my team on this one is top 1. So my responsibility and my team members' responsibility is going to be the top part of the map and the top part of the map, if that makes sense. So we're really looking at taking and defending the Sky Altar, which is on our side, but then also attacking, and if we take it, defending the Shrine of Life on the enemy side. And this is all on the top part of the little mini map that you see right there in the top right corner. So my whole game is basically focused on the far upper right side of the mini map. I do my best to check in on other battles that are going on, but like I said, I am responsible for rallying the Shrine of Life as well as reinforcing the Sky Altar and helping to garrison that. I also have a couple marches out on the field to fight in the field, whether that means escorting the rallies to structures or I have one more march that I use to fill rallies as well. So my whole makeup is I have 1 garrison, 1 I'm rallying the Shrine of Life, 2 in the field to support wherever we need support in the field, and then 1 I'm using to fill other people's rallies as well. So we're about 8 minutes in now. We have taken our obelisk and we are ready to teleport. So I go ahead and teleport. Like I said, I'm on the initial list of teleport people. We teleport in groups of 5. So we do 5 on the top, 5 on the bottom. And then we port as we get the Divine Aid buff or the Divine Aid skill that we can pop. And then, of course, you get teleports for holding your own obelisk for a certain amount of time as well. But I'm on that first list because I am supposed to rally the Shrine of Life. As you see me did right there. As soon as I teleported in, I immediately just rallied the Shrine of Life with my Attila Takeda. So that's kind of how we're starting here. My team plays much more of a structure game than capturing the ARK game. We all believe that if we can hold the structures and own the field around those structures, over time our score will be much, much better. And so that's kind of our theory on how we play Ark of Osiris. There's definitely some other theories that work. I know a lot of teams go full-blown Ark, and all they want to do is capture the Ark of Osiris and just make sure they're kind of holding their structures along the way. We focus entirely almost on structures, and then if we're able to grab an Ark here and there, we do so. But our first and foremost priority is holding the structures on our side of the field and then attacking and trying to take theirs on their side of the field. So I'm over here at the Sky Altar, just making sure that everything's all good. And looks like my rally has not marched yet, but I've got some stuff in the field here that I am going to use to help escort. Oh, there's my rally right there. So it has marched, and I've got a couple troops as well as a few other players. Looks like Mateo, Akari, great players. They've been on my team a couple times, and I love playing with them. And so we are going to try to escort this rally to the Shrine of Life. A lot of times you do need the field presence to accompany a rally. Now, sometimes if the enemy doesn't have any troops at their structure, you can do just basically rally versus structure, rally versus garrison, and it could go okay, especially if you're having Attila Takeda hit something, it's probably going to go okay. But as you can see right here, they've got some stuff in the field. And as good as Attila Takeda is, he'll do a lot of damage when swarm, but he will go down before we take this structure. And it's, of course, our goal to take this structure every time we rally it. And so that's what we're doing here. We're marching up to support this rally. Looks like they have started attacking it, and it is taking it. Taking their little swarm here. Looks like a couple swarms, and it has started to hit the Shrine of Life. Shrine of Life garrison looks like a Constantine. I can't tell what the other one is. It might be, oh, it's a Charles. So Constantine Charles. So it's a great garrison. They've got the right setup here. We've got more field presence, though. So we're feeling pretty good about this initial attack. As you can see in the mini-map as well in the top right, we've already taken their desert altar. So that was a big deal early on. Like I said, when I first looked at their team members and their power, I thought we were going to have a good fight on our hands. But if you look at the right side of the mini-map, we've got everything on the top side except for their obelisk. And this Shrine of Life, which is most likely about to go down. I believe it goes down this first time. So we come out really strong by taking structures and getting the right garrisons in there. As you can see, we still have the desert altar, and it's not even flashing. So they haven't even countered us taking that structure yet. And now we're all over this Shrine of Life. And Constantine's about to go down. My Attila's only about halfway, and we have a ton of field presence. So we're going to go ahead and right there, we just took the Shrine of Life. That's why it's such a big deal to have field presence, because if you've got people that are trying to swarm the rally, you can defend that, or you can just take everything you've got there as well and swarm the structure and take it down that much faster. So again, if you look at the top part of the map right now, we've got everything under our control, and our Shrine of War was blinking there for a second, but it's not anymore. So we're starting very strong right now. And as you can see in the score, we've got just about 5,000. They've got just about 3,000. So we've already, without any arcs, we've already created a 2,000 point spread just by holding these structures for longer. And here, as we had a ton of field presence around the Shrine of Life, we figured, okay, why don't we go ahead and just mess around with them close to their cities. As long as we're taking their units out, they're going to either have to heal them or we're going to take them out of the fight by taking them down quicker. So at this point, we're just fighting in the field. We've got all the structures on the top side. Things are looking good right now. Again, coming into this match and kind of looking at those other players, we were overall pretty close in power. And then looking at their players, it looked like they had some really good players that we were going to go up against. So was definitely nervous about what they were going to throw at us. But so far, we have had quite a breezy and easy match. As you can see, our point differential up top continues to spread, and we've got everybody doing what they're supposed to be doing. And I can't stress enough how important it is to have proper communication and planning coming into Ark of Osiris. Our leaders spend a ton of time. Laguna 46, we've got Bronco, Diesel. We've got a bunch of people that spend a ton of time gathering data and planning how we're going to execute winning Ark of Osiris. And every single, I think it's Saturday before the Ark is, we usually play on Sundays, I am sent a very, very specific list and spreadsheet of what I'm supposed to do, where each of my marches are supposed to be, and, you know, more or less minute by minute, second by second, what I'm going to be doing in this game. Which, again, is why I think we are really solid at playing Ark of Osiris, is because everybody knows what they're supposed to be doing, and we execute it. And so there you guys saw we had an attack on our Sky Altar. And they were sending a lot of... I didn't see a lot of Attila Takedas come at us, I gotta say. You know, I saw quite a few in the field fighting here and there, but I don't know if they're not maxed. I don't know what the deal was, but they kept sending Khans and Saladin rallies at us. And I'm just not sure why they would do that if they had Attila Takeda. Diesel and I were talking before I came in and did this recording, but it's possible they didn't have them maxed. I think they're 600 and something, their kingdom. But they should have had quite a few maxed Attila Takedas. So I wasn't really sure why we weren't seeing more of those rallies coming into our structures, but um, Khan and Saladin, they're really good. Don't get me wrong, but they're really easy to swarm, and it doesn't hurt you that much to swarm those rallies down. So anytime we have something incoming on our Sky Altar, we were able pretty much to swarm those down. I don't think we lose the Sky Altar. No, we do not. We do not lose the Sky Altar one time, or our Shrine of War, which is great. And so a second ago, you just saw me refreshing troops, and our team does such a good job. There's so much going on during Ark of Osiris. So, while I'm up here fighting in the field, I've got Akari in my ear saying, hey, Svet, go refresh your troops in the Sky Altar, refresh them. Because we always want to have as many troops as possible defending any structure that we're supposed to be defending. And sometimes when you've got a million things going on the screen, like I do right now, and everybody does throughout ARK, it's nice that you've got teammates that are paying attention to some stuff that maybe you're not, and telling you, hey, go refresh this, we've got time, or we've got a rally incoming, get some marchers up there. So the communication in our alliance and in our ARK group is very, very solid, and it really makes it honestly kind of easy to play these matches, because we all know what we're supposed to be doing, and we're all helping each other do it along the way. And so I do have my preset marches there for just filler marches, or filler, to fill rallies. And so I don't want to use my best commanders to fill a garrison or to fill a rally. I'd much rather have my Guan Leo out in the field fighting, like he is right there, than him filling, a garrison. So that's why I have my Charles in the garrison right now. Sometimes I'll send my Sun Tzu to fill the garrison. But I always want my best commanders that are going to be in fighting positions and not really leaders out in the field. So I've got my Guan Leo out in the field, and then my Ramesses YSG out in the field a lot. He's great because I get the AoE. I also have the Eternal Pendant that I throw on to Ramesses, so I get that extra skill damage with the AoE with YSG, so that's really nice. And I also take Aethelfled out there a lot too. So I do an Aethelfled and an El Cid, both are maxed, and then I do a mixed troop as well. That helps me for a couple reasons. There's definitely some better pairs out there for Aethelfled, but I love what Aethelfled does with her buff, debuff, and then I love how El Cid silences the target as well. So I really like mixing those two and mixed troops, and the mixed troops helps me as well, because then I'm not running out of one specific troop type faster. I'm able to kind of split those up evenly. I go a little bit heavier on the archers because of A, El Cid, and B, because I run out of the other stuff faster, right? And so that kind of helps me not run out of infantry or cav as quickly as possible. And so let's see. And so we've got, and so right here, probably an error on my part. I was instructed to rally that structure with Attila Takeda every time. And this time my Attila was not back yet, and I did not want to wait. So what I did was launched a rally with Ramesses YSG, thinking that, okay, this could be pretty good. It's a really good pair anyways, but I had an issue, as you'll see right here. I checked my rally and realized that I have been filled with Cav. So don't want to send a Ramesses YSG rally with Cav in it, so I just actually go ahead and cancel that rally. I wait for, my Attila gets back, and I'm like, all right, well, let's just cancel that, relaunch, get the proper rally out there, which is nice and easy. Open Discord, tell my teammates what's going on, and I get filled up, and we are back on track. And so again, guys, if you just get a chance here when I close that, take a look at that mini map. I mean, it is almost all red. And again, I mean, looking at their power and their players coming into this, I would have never expected this match to go like this. But right now, we are completely dominating not only the field, but the structure game as well. You'll see at the end of the match as well, we also grabbed some arcs along the way too. We really just executed our plan very, very well throughout this entire match. Everybody was where they needed to be. We did have a higher than average healing bill, which is what it is. We really wanted to win, and we pushed for it. But yeah, I mean, we fought hard. We were where we needed to be. We rallied everything at the right time when we should have, and it's really working out in our favor right now. And so as you can see, guys, we've got the rally on the way, and we've got marches on the way. We also kind of realize here, okay, we've got an incoming rally. Someone had asked me on Discord, hey, Svet, we've got an incoming rally. Please swarm that down. It's a con. So I'm able to help swarm this one down before it does any serious damage to our Sky Altar, which is great. And again, we've got a rally going to their Shrine of Life. But we saw this one incoming, figured let's deal with that first, and then we can get those field marches up there for support as well. We already did have some players up there to support my rally on the Shrine of Life, which is nice. But yeah, we definitely wanted to deal with this. Anytime our own structures on our side are secure, we can focus on attack, 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 and taking their structures. And so, yeah, the mini-map still got a lot of red on it. Somehow we've got their outposts as well, so we were able to snag some of those along the way. And we are just putting pressure on them everywhere right now, which is great. So I took down that rally real quick and immediately sent my troops up here to help out. And so, like I said, I mean, they've got an Attila Takeda right there. And I can't obviously tell if it's maxed or not, but they threw that one in as a counter rally to my Attila Takeda rally that was hitting their Shrine of Life. And I don't think we receive on our structure an Attila Takeda rally ever. So I don't know what is going on behind the scenes over there on our opponent's side with their commanders and everything they've got going on, but just really confused why we didn't receive an Attila Takeda rally on at least the Sky Altar. It may have happened on our Shrine of War or anything else, but we didn't receive any on ours. We always got Khan or Saladin, which is really easy just to take down and swarm, especially with the Sky Altar being so close to where our cities are and where we were able to port up to. We're able to march basically from our city even after the rally hits and still be able to swarm that down in time. We've got a YSS Theo as garrison here in the Sky Altar, and it can handle Attila Takeda very well. It can handle a lot of stuff very well. But again, Attila Takeda is just such a beast rally that I'm surprised I didn't use it more. And so even though they counter-rallied this, guys, we were still able to swarm this down and take it in time. And what I do right here, actually, is take my Attila out because I've got a feeling they're going to come in hot for this Shrine of Life to take it back. And thinking, okay, let me get my Attila back. I'll be ready to rally it again. I've got a bunch of troops in my Aethelfled March, and we've got a YSS that's going to defend this Shrine of Life. So I'm just going to go ahead, swap those out, get more troops in the structure, make sure we hold it for a little bit longer. Let's see what they hit us with here. What is that? It's a con. So, I just don't know. They've got an Attila right there in the field. Yeah, you know, I don't know. I do not know why they wouldn't use that Attila Takeda for rallying. But, like I said, there's a lot of different ways to play this game. Some people focus on structures. Some people think other commanders are better. Some people focus on ARK. Whatever it might be, they are playing this differently than us. And, yeah, I'm not sure why. But I can tell you this, that at this point, we have doubled their score. And I think we might have captured one ARK at this point. So a lot of our lead here, you know, doubling their score is really coming from us holding structures longer than them. The points per minute game is a really good one if you can organize and figure out how to get the right garrison commanders up to structures, into structures, how to reinforce rallies, bring field presence. I know it sounds like a lot, and then I'm basically saying like you just have to do everything all the time and do it perfectly. But that's where our leadership team comes in. And so they had just taken it back, and I'm re-rallying it right now with Attila Takeda. I don't want any time in between my Attila being ready to rally and that thing not taking a rally. So I always go immediately for it and just keep the pressure there. The more pressure I put on the Shrine of Life, that means they have to focus on it more. They take some troops away from the Desert Altar where my friends are fighting at on team top team 2, so T2. And it just works well. You know, you put pressure on the Shrine of Life and the Desert Altar at the same time, they're going to have to pick one to defend normally and let one go. That's how it is. The way we've divided ourselves up, we're pretty similar time-wise, rallying the Desert Altar and the Shrine of Life, and they're having to pick, okay, which structure do we care about more? But that being said, one of them's probably going to go down, which is why it's a really good strategy. And it's not rocket science, but we just execute it very well. And it's hard to defend. It's really hard to defend when your team is all on the same page and executing their plan exactly how they want to. So sending a couple field marches back out. And this is where I'm kind of running out of troops, actually. Doing a lot of fighting early on. And I'm like, all right, maybe I'll send out some T5 Siege. And I'm like, okay, no, that's not a good idea. They're too slow, right? They also don't really do any damage. So this is where I think I go to my city and actually heal. It's very rare for me to heal, but I did not want to take myself out of the fight this early, and I was a little low on infantry. Figured, okay, why don't we just heal a little bit? I had looked like 44-ish hours of healing, so I just went ahead and did that. Didn't heal everything that I could have. Obviously, I had hundreds and hundreds of thousands that were in the hospital, but felt like, what, I could use a little extra to get me through this fight. Why don't I go ahead and heal it? We've got 30 minutes left in this fight. So, like I said, it's rare for me to do, but I really want... There it is. Okay, there it is. So they've got a Attila Saladin? So, they must not have a lot of Attila Takedas. Because Attila Saladin, it's not terrible, but if you've got Takeda, that's obviously the pair, right? Attila Takeda is one of the most OP pairs in the whole game. So I'm not really too sure what's going on with their commanders on their end, but it's definitely a disadvantage for them to not have Attila Takedas to fight with. That one guy I saw in the field when we were fighting at the Shrine of Life before had an Attila Takeda, but who knows what the skill level was and stuff like that. But yeah, the Attila Saladin isn't as tanky as the Attila Takeda. The Takeda does a ton of debuff and healing along the way, so it really just makes Attila long lasting and dish out more attack, etc., etc. It probably would have been much more difficult for us if they had the right amount of Attila Takedas to use in the fight. But we were still able to defend that Attila rally on our Sky Altar nice and easy. My rally did fail at the Shrine of Life, as you guys just saw, and so everything's marching back, and so I'm kind of chiming in at the Desert Altar. Every time I came to check on the Desert Altar in this match, it was just chaos. Pretty much what you see right now is the story of the Desert Altar in almost every game that we actually play, because we're up in their faces at the Desert Altar all the time. Like I said, we want to secure our structures on our side, make sure they're defended well, and then attack their structures on their side. So as you can see here, all sorts of fighting going on. You can't even really tell who's hitting the structure, who's hitting marches, what's going on in there. Is there a rally in there? Honestly, who knows? But I know the players that play on T2 on that team are really, really good at this game and really good at commanding their troops while they're out on the field. Because every time I look at the Desert Altar, it is just chaotic. So shout out to T2 for doing such a good job, even in all that chaos and confusion, on taking the structure and holding the structure so well. Because you see the fights up at the Shrine of Life where we're fighting, me and my squad, and it's not there's not that many arrows falling down from the sky. It's just not as crazy. So I know that's probably a little more difficult for them, and they do a great job of taking and holding that structure. Okay, and so what is this? Let's see what happens here. I think this is a Saladin. Yep, Saladin. And so we're just waiting for this one to hit. We're going to swarm it, and then we're going to march up with my rally that is headed to their Shrine of Life again. again, it's just relentless rallies on their Shrine of Life. That's my job the whole game, which again makes it much easier for me because I don't have to think too much about what else is going on. Me and my squad, we just do our job, and we can get victory that way. And so we take down the Saladin. We leave a little bit early, I believe. Yeah, we leave a little bit early here. The game was a little laggy while we were fighting. I don't know why, but specifically my Archer March, Ramesses, was glitching, either not moving or, I would double click to get all of my marches within the screen that I'm on right now, and it wouldn't respond. It was a little glitchy. It wasn't too bad, given all that's going on in an ARK match, but definitely a little bit glitchy. So there's a lot of times where I thought my troops were stuck at a structure and they had actually marched up with my other ones. So it all worked out in the end, but it was a little bit glitchy today. And so we've got this rally hitting right now. And just to take a quick look again at the mini map. So we've got all of our structures on our side. We're the red team. Nothing's flashing on our side. So the match is going very well for us. Our plan and our execution of the plan is working out greatly. You see their structures are flashing, ours are not, which means we've got our defense locked in and we are pressing them on their front lines, which again is great. And if you take a look at the score here in the top middle of the screen, we're more than double their score at this point, almost 2.5 times their score. So the match is going very, very well. We've got 22 minutes left. It wouldn't be impossible for them to come back at this point, but if we keep holding these structures like we are, it's something that's going to be very, very difficult, even if they capture every single ARK from here on out. And that's one of the reasons that we play the structure game is the ARK is tough, and it comes down a lot of times to march speed, or who's popping the right skill at the right time, and a lot of times it's just hard to predict, and we prefer the structure game because we feel like we can predict it better and handle that situation a lot better than just playing hardcore for the ARK. So that's one strategy I use when the fighting does get crazy, and I'm sure the people down at the Desert Altar probably do this as well. I'll just click on the march that I want to attack, and then hit the all march marker or button or whatever that is to make them attack that specific march or structure in some scenarios as well. That way I'm not having to click the screen a bunch of times and hope that I got the right thing and hope that I clicked the right person to attack or whatever it might be. So a lot of times I'll click, make sure that I'm on the right person, and then select all like that. And so we just took the structure back, and now we're going to try to hold it for a little bit. I think we've got, I don't know who's on. We got a Khan defending, so it may not go too well, but we do have some good field presence. We'll see if maybe we can do something about it. So more than likely not. And I think here I'm just waiting for this to go down, and then I'm going to re-rally it. Yep. Get that Attila going again. So we had a slight issue here. Saladin's doing very well against our YSS. I don't know if we weren't fully reinforced here on the Sky Altar, but this was our team's responsibility. So luckily we're not, distracted by anything else going on the map. We're able to look at this and say, hey, we're having some trouble here at the Sky Altar. We need some marches up here to either reinforce ASAP or swarm this rally ASAP and get this taken care of. And so you saw Soviet right there. Go ahead and reinforce the Sky Altar. YSS makes it really easy because mixed troops, so you can throw whatever you want in there. You saw Akari come out and is swarming this structure. So we're doing a really good job of being proactive, and we can't be perfect throughout the match, right? So we're doing a really good job of reacting when it calls for it as well, and getting the troops where they need to be to defend a structure or take a structure. So we're doing a really good job so far. And again, it is reflected in our score. If you take a look right now, we have 30,493 points. They have 12,372 points. So the point differential at this point is very large. With 18 minutes left, nearly impossible for them to reverse that and win at this point. But it's not over till it's over. So we continue to rally. We continue to defend because we want to get the highest score as possible, right? Another thing I forgot to mention as well is it is mandatory in our alliance to do a 50% troop capacity buff and a 10% attack or defense buff. We have switched recently to do a defense buff. So you can see up by my power and the coordinates and stuff, I've got the little purple shield there. So that's the 24-hour 10% defense buff. And then right next to that is the 50% troop capacity expansion as well. So that's why you're seeing every time I launch a rally, it's with 310,000 troops and not the lower amount. And again, to play on this team, it is mandatory that you use those things. So you have to be either willing to spend the gems to get them or have them stockpiled and use them the day of ARK kind of thing. And so I think right there, I was just reminded again to fill up that structure and to reinforce the garrison there. And so again, that's the huge thing about our team is we have great communication and great planning. The players that are on my squad know who they should see in the structures. And when they didn't see my name in there, they said, hey, Svet, you need to get your troops in here to defend this structure. Which again, with everything going on, me trying to pay attention to my rally, I've got a few up here in the field fighting. Them knowing that because we planned for it is extremely valuable to win a game like this. And so I think we were happy with how this went, so we're swarming it down. My rally's already done, but as you can see, Constantine is very low here, and we've still got quite a few marches that can take this one down. And we do, I believe, we stay here until it goes down. But what that means, unfortunately, is we're not going to have a lot left in there to garrison it once we have it. But nonetheless, this is point disruption. So one reason that our score is so high and theirs is so low is that once you take a structure, if you're new to ARK, this will be news. But if you're not, as you know, once you take a structure, there is a countdown to when that structure starts counting for you in terms of points per minute. So right there, we took the Shrine of Life. As you can see, there is a countdown of, looks like about 3 minutes. So we've got to hold that for 3 minutes before it starts counting points for us. However, any points they were getting from that structure are now over. And whenever they take that back, they've got to wait 3 minutes before they get any points for it. So we've held all of our structures for the entire game on our side of the map, which is why our score is so much higher, is we have had almost no point disruption on our side whatsoever. And the whole game, basically, we've been disrupting their points per minute. So that's why the differential is so huge here, and why over time the spread between our score and theirs grows and grows and grows and grows. They're not disrupting our points. We're disrupting their points per minute all the time, basically the whole game. And that's why you're starting to see this lead that we have really balloon and get big as we kind of come in towards the fourth quarter of the match. And so again, not really feeling good that I don't have any infantry. So one of my major things that I am focused on, I've got about 800,000 T5 infantry. And so I'm just really saving up for a big training. And that should be here pretty soon. Like I said, we've got KVK coming up around the corner. I believe it'll be announced for us somewhere within 3 to 5 weeks. And when that happens, there's the pre-KVK stuff, and one of those events is training, where I plan to basically use all of my speed ups and all of my resources on training troops. It feels really good to go into a KVK with 1 million T5 of fighting troops each. Obviously, I want my account to be as big as possible, but you can really tell, how well stocked you are in a crazy ARK match. Because when I'm scrambling here to try to find infantry to put in a structure, it's definitely not as fun. And so this was interesting. They kind of had the right idea here, but it just wasn't executed well. So they had the rally come down to our sky altar, and then they had all these marches come with that rally, but there was like a 2-minute gap between them, their rally hitting our structure, and their marches getting there. And in that 2-minute gap, we swarmed the rally, and the rally was done. So then all these field marches showed up on their own, and we also had field presence as well, so we're able just to wipe them all out. Meanwhile, my Attila Takeda sneaks by. What really they should have done there was taken every single one of those field marches and swarmed my rally, but they didn't. They chose to keep going for that structure, and then my rally's got a really good chance here because I'm getting swarmed by one troop, which isn't really a swarm, I guess, and I'm taking down this Constantine quite easily. And so they kind of get the gist here. Oh no, there's an Attila Takeda hitting our Constantine with nothing swarming it. And so they're starting to send some marches over there. But we've dealt with everything that was at our sky altar. So now we're taking everything that was in the field for us and sending it up to the Shrine of Life. And again, guys, this is all in the plan. So none of this, anything we're doing right now on the screen is not on the fly. We're not doing this on a whim. This is what we were told our jobs were for this fight. So I know some of it may seem like, we're kind of just like, oh, we're needed here, we're needed there. But in reality, like, we knew exactly where we'd be, which structures we would be at. If this was happening, then we would be doing this, because our leaders just plan for everything almost within this match, that we don't even have to second guess things. We see something happening, we know exactly what to do with it. Just a quick look at the mini map here. So we've got all of our sides still, but now we've got their desert altar not blinking, so we've held that for a while. Just started getting attacked again. Looks like their rally just started hitting it right now. We've got the proper defense in there, though. Looks like a YSS Theodora, I believe, is in there. Really, really good garrison right there. They've got a bunch of field presence. They've got a rally there, but we also have a really good garrison and a bunch of field presence as well. So, and then looking at the rest of the mini map, we've got, what is that? Their Shrine of War, it looks like. Yeah, their Shrine of War is blinking for us, so we're holding it right now. It looks like it's also being attacked by them. And then we're at their Shrine of Life here on the screen right now. So they are just having to fight on their front lines at their structures over and over and over and over again. They're not able to make any sort of dent in our defense, and it's really painful for them to have to try to reverse this, because once we've gotten in their face and gotten on their side of the map and we're able to just continue to attack, it's really hard for them to reverse that when we continue to execute this well. Might have bought some gems. I don't know. I accidentally clicked the gem thing. I was thinking about buying some gems. Who knows? ARK of Osiris can get crazy sometimes. So just click the wrong button there. Although we would all love more gems, right? So. And there's Akari again. Akari's always all over the map. Just does such a great job being at the right place at the right time. He was the only one there to swarm that rally. Which again, excuse me, we had the right garrison in there, but swarming that down quickly is really important so that we can focus on disrupting their points per minute, taking their structures, holding their structures. And immediately this time, I go ahead and refresh my troops. I know we're really late in the map here, but it ain't over till it's over. So I want to make sure I get the correct troops defending right there and get everything where it needs to be, even though we've only got about 6 minutes left right now. So checking in on the Desert Altar again, we still have their Desert Altar, which is great. We're getting points per minute now on their structure, which is amazing. We've got the field presence. We've got the garrison, correct. We're reinforcing that garrison regularly. We are doing a really good job. T2 does a really good job of fighting and taking this Desert Altar and then holding it. That's the tricky part. Holding it after you've taken it is such a hard thing to do, but if you can do it right, it makes the enemy kind of just run out of options. They've got to take that structure. They can't just let us have that. So if we're giving them a really hard time to take that back, it's detrimental to whatever plan they had to win this match. And so here they've got a woo. And we've got our herald up there as well for garrison. Once we take this structure, if we do, I'm not sure if we do. I'm getting some reinforcement on my Attila Takeda, which is great. Yep, and so we took it right there. Looks like the rally stood throughout that. So I've got my Attila in the structure now. Not sure if I remember to take that one out and get something else in there up front, but we'll see what happens. I think we get the Herald in as our garrison for this one, and we hold this for a little longer than we have throughout the match, but we'll see. There we go, 3 minutes, 30 seconds left. Score, 55,000, 56,000 almost for us, and 16,000 for them. So at this point, it's definitely over. There's no way that they can come back at this point. And we're just going to continue playing, doing more damage, increasing our personal scores. We're going to make sure that everybody on our team has over 10,000 points so that everybody's going to get those max rewards from ARK of Osiris, which the main things are you get some really, really good stuff in addition to this, but the main thing is the 10 legendary sculptures that we get. Those are the best of the best. One thing that's a huge advantage for me is the 20,000 troop training expansion pack. Can't have enough of those. Anytime you need to train a bunch of troops, the 20,000 buffs are really, really good to have. So you get one every time you win an ARK of Osiris. And they're starting to make a little push here. I think they've got a rally incoming as well. Yep, right there. And this one, nope, it's a Khan again. So they keep sending Khan or Saladin to take these structures. And it's showing a CC as our garrison, but I don't know if that's accurate because I think it does switch to Herald right here in this last one. I think it does switch to Herald, and we actually hold this. Which that's one thing that we could have done better was holding the structure a lot more once we took it. But again, when you're on the enemy side, we're so close to their cities, it is much more difficult to hold this structure specifically than anything that's closer to our cities and our obelisk. But our Desert Altar team does a very good job of doing just that, and it makes it really, really hard on the enemy the whole game. And there it is. So that's the switch to Herald. We're all swarming the rally. We're swarming everything we can. We're trying to hold this structure coming into the end of the match. Just checking to make sure that I've got all the points that I need to get those max rewards. And that's pretty much it, guys. So that's what you're seeing here, a final score of somewhere around 60,000 to 16,000. Again, we play a much more focused on structures game than we do on capturing the art game. We divide ourselves into 4 different teams throughout the map, and everybody's job is very well defined, and we know exactly what we're doing throughout the match. Again, if you guys do like Rise of Kingdoms content, I will be posting an ARK video every 2 weeks until the next league comes out. Then I'll be posting every single one of those. I'll also post anything related to KVK or anything along the way, like the Halloween event. So the holiday event, we'll have a Christmas event coming up, I'm sure. Probably a Thanksgiving event if you're in the U.S. Yeah, any type of content, guys. If you do like it, please don't forget to subscribe. I will keep putting out content for you. If you like watching this ARK video, go ahead, hit the like button. I will see you guys next time.